2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. The downtown area is usually the heart and soul of many communities. So how do you keep businesses alive and interest in the downtown vibrant and growing? I have a man here today who knows exactly how the secret works. I am joined by Larry Newman, who's the Executive Director of the Diamond City Partnership here in Wilkes-Barre. Larry, thank you for joining me today.
It's great to be here, Jane Ann.
And I think Wilkes-Barre has a very vibrant and busy downtown winter, spring, summer, and fall. So we're going to see how you keep the music going all year long.
It's how we keep the balls in the air
Right,
all year
all
round.
along. So give us a little history of the Diamond City Partnership. How did it all begin?
So the Diamond City Partnership was created in 2001, so it's actually more than 20 years old. And if you think back to the 1990s, that was a period of time when main streets and downtowns all across the nation were really struggling as retailing, which had been the primary reason why people went downtown for so many years, was really shifting to suburban shopping centers and shopping malls. And so people were really struggling, not just in Wilkes-Barre, but all across the country, with how to bring back their traditional downtown shopping districts. In Wilkes-Barre, that discussion really extended throughout the 1990s. And in 2001, we decided that things were getting concerning enough that the Greater Wilkes-Barre Chamber at the time, our Downtown Merchants Association, and some other groups came together to hold a series of public meetings. And those public meetings were open to anyone. And we decided that we were going to use those as an opportunity to figure out a commonly held path forward for downtown Wilkes-Barre. Out of those meetings came 6 strategies for change, and the Diamond City Partnership was created later that year in 2001 as the nonprofit organization that was charged with implementing those 6 strategies.
So what's the criteria for being involved in the partnership for businesses?
Well, so we are really, our focus is really a geographic focus. So we are really only concerned with, when we talk about downtown Wilkes-Barre, we are really talking about the area that is bounded by the Wilkes University campus on the south, the King's College campus on the north, and then the river to Wilkes-Barre Boulevard.
Okay.
So it's really only an area of around 300 acres or so. But those 300 acres, as you suggested before, have an awful lot going on in them.
Right.
Not just people working, but people visiting. It's a place where people live. Obviously, it's a place where almost 7,000 students are actually going to school. And it's the seat of government for Luzerne County, the seat of government for the city of Wilkes-Barre, and the home to so many different businesses and institutions.
And in your website and on your Facebook page, it's a beautify, enhance, and elevate. So tell us about some of the initiatives of the partnership.
So when we talk about the work that DCP does, I usually put that work into 3 major categories. The first is improving downtown's physical environment. And we do that through the work of our downtown ambassador team. That's a team of 6 people who is working. They are working in downtown Wilkes-Barre 7 days a week. They remove trash from downtown sidewalks and storefront doorways. In fact, last year we removed, on average, we were removing the equivalent of 12 30-gallon bags of trash from downtown each week.
Wow.
We remove graffiti tags, we remove stickers, we do beautifications, so the hanging baskets that a lot of people might be familiar with in the core of downtown, we have almost 200 of those. We plant them, we maintain them throughout the season. We also have close to 30 sidewalk planters throughout downtown that we maintain. We even are involved in tree planting. So where there are street trees that have been lost over the years in downtown Wilkes-Barre, DCP has, with our volunteer partners, planted more than 80 new street trees throughout downtown.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then we do a lot of other things. So, for example, we just worked with the city earlier this year. People are familiar with the four-sided tower clock in Midtown Village.
Yes.
We just got that repaired so that all four sides of the clock are,
now-
again, telling the correct time.
People, I don't think, realize the work that goes into, keeping a city alive and vibrant, and the work behind the scenes.
Exactly. And I think a reason why organizations like ours came into being is because when downtowns were the only places for people to go, to shop,
Right.
to do business, etc. At that time, we had a lot of retail businesses
Right.
that owned their own buildings. They took care of their own the space in front of the sidewalk in front of their stores. That has changed. And so we need to have a managed downtown. So the term for what DCP is a place management organization. That's really what we do. We are a place management organization. And so we spend a lot of time working on those little things that add up to creating an environment where big investments can actually occur. Another thing that our organization does is our downtown ambassador team includes someone who is trained to actually do outreach to people who are at risk on the street. We obviously, as the largest city in Luzerne County, we are host to a number of facilities that help at-risk populations, whether it's the St. Vincent de Paul Soup Kitchen or whether it's the overnight shelters. We find that there are people who need assistance. And sometimes that assistance, it's better to be proactive in providing that assistance. So we
That's
work
very
our
interesting,
social
yeah.
service agencies
That is
to
very,
make that
I
happen.
did not realize that was
Yeah.
part, and that's an interesting part of keeping, the downtown welcoming.
Absolutely.
For everyone. And, as welcoming, the Downtown City Partnership, like I said, has events going winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I do want to talk about some of the events, recently, of course, the, Small Business Saturday was a wonderful opportunity for people to come down and experience downtown Wilkes-Barre. How has that grown over the years? I know it used to be outside, now it was inside, but
So we first started our holiday market in 2017, so before the pandemic. And that holiday market originally started in a different location, in a vacant storefront on South Main Street. And over the years, it has grown and it has evolved. We've done it as an outdoor market.
Right.
We've now, over the last 2 years, moved it into the really beautiful turn-of-the-century banking hall at the bank at 8 West Market Street, a building and a space that so many people from the Wyoming Valley really remember fondly.
right.
And it's a really grand place to hold the holiday market. We are holding it on Small Business Saturday, which is a day that is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. A promotion that in its own right has grown and grown and grown
Right.
in recent years. For many of our downtown business owners, Small Business Saturday is one of the most important sales days of
Right.
the year.
Right. And it also gives people from around the area a chance to come and see what Wilkes-Barre has to offer, what the area businesses have to offer. Plus, there's a lot of great places to eat.
Absolutely. We have 45 different food and
Wow,
drink
I didn't realize there was
establishments
that- wow.
in downtown. Yeah.
45.
45 right now.
And that's really grown.
It's grown, and obviously one of the things that we love about that is that we've seen the rise in destination dining. So we have restaurants that are offering cuisine from around the world,
Right.
within a block or two of Public Square.
And and a lot of activities do bring people downtown. You have the Kirby Center. We're fortunate to have that as
Yes.
part of the downtown, and even different events that go on the colleges. So when people are here, there's always a place to eat. There's a place to eat.
Absolutely. They all of our attractions really are able to build off of each other. What I like to say is that in a downtown, more equals more. We are not a place where the more activities that are feeding off of each other, the better everyone does. And so that's why we work so diligently to try and cross promote all of the different offerings that downtown Wilkes-Barre has to offer, whether that is the schedule of events happening at the FM Kirby Center, or the offerings that are happening on the college campuses, or all of the arts and culture and
Right.
entertainment offerings that are happening elsewhere in downtown throughout the year.
I know. I look forward to every Monday when you sign up for the Diamond City Partnership. That there's a newsletter that comes out, and I encourage everybody that's around town and even around the area to look for that, because it gives you a list of events, what's coming up for the week, and sometimes you say, I didn't know that was happening, and then you always have. Something you show a piece of the architecture from downtown, which is
Right.
another, and a little bit of history. So a lot of work goes into that weekly newsletter, and I look for it. And it comes out the same time all the time. And if it's not on time, I'm thinking, why? And then there it is. So
No, I appreciate that, Jane Ann. And so
Yes.
that newsletter which we call This Week in Downtown Wilkes-Barre
Right.
is something that we've been doing for a number of years now. And it's a really great way for us to showcase all of the amazing offerings, whether they are events or businesses or other activities that happen throughout the year in this relatively small geography right here in downtown Wilkes-Barre.
Right. And while we're talking, we're showing video of some of the events that happen, and we have some of your information. But I do want to talk. We're going to jump ahead to summer, and a neat event that happens on Public Square, the Sunsets on South Main. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think we realized during the pandemic that we needed to begin to provide a broader range of events to get people back into downtown after the impact of that event, which had such a negative impact on places like downtown Wilkes-Barre. Because obviously our economy here in our downtown and in any downtown is built around bringing people together.
Right.
The more that downtown does that, the better the downtown does. And really that was disrupted during the pandemic. So events like Sunsets on South Main provided a way for us to begin bringing people back. So really what it is it's a monthly live music happy hour event that happens in the Midtown Village Courtyard on South Main
Right.
Street once a month from May through September. We've been running it since 2020. And it just builds and builds and builds every year. It's free. You come down, you enjoy the music for 2 hours, and then you can go out and enjoy food at one of our wonderful downtown restaurants.
And it's a nice gathering, and it's always packed, and you have hope for beautiful weather. And it's, I know the other event was, and I thought this was really great, the light shows on
Yes.
the buildings. What was,
So-
the name
so-
escapes me of it, but
So Soma Nightlights. So
Soma Nightlights, yes.
Soma is the term that we've begun using for the South Main Street Arts District, which is really centered on the second block of South Main, where we have 3 different art galleries. People don't realize that we have the Sordoni Art Gallery of Wilkes University, the Wyoming Valley Art League Circle Center for the Arts, and Marquee Art and Frame second floor gallery, all across the street from one another. So that really is the center of downtown's arts community. So earlier this year, working with our partners in the district, led by the Sordoni Art Gallery, we put together a projection mapping festival, which we called Soma Nightlights. So not only were there large-scale light projections happening on buildings throughout the district,
so unique.
but we also had some other really cool things. We had fire dancers. We had Keystone College's glass blowing studio down. We had music. We had We had something called the Rusty Iris, which I think is in our photos, but which has to be seen to be understood. I can't even explain it.
But it was a unique evening.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing it again.
So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Larry Newman from the Diamond City Partnership. You're watching Newsmakers. You can find information on today's show on 2822news.com. I'm Jane Ann Bugda, and we'll be back right after this.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda. Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda, and today we are talking about the Diamond City Partnership, which is right here in downtown Wilkes-Barre. My guest is Larry Newman, and we're talking about how we keep the downtown going, vibrant. It's the heart and soul of our community. And not only are there businesses here, 45 restaurants, was I learned today, 3 art galleries, and plenty of entertainment. A lot of people live downtown. So the Diamond City Partnership also works with bringing people to the downtown area. Tell us about that, about living downtown.
So one of the 3 areas that we focus on is improving downtown's economy. And what we have found over the years, and this is true not just in Wilkes-Barre, but in other communities across the country, is that more and more people are looking for a walkable urban environment in which to live. They want what the term we use is a walk to everything neighborhood. And that can be true for a variety of different reasons, from convenience to lifestyle to the ability to have access to things without having to get into a car all the time. And so we have actually seen a tremendous amount of success in the growth of downtown Wilkes-Barre's residential population over the last 20 years. But that growth has continued despite some of the challenges like the pandemic. So today, downtown Wilkes-Barre's residential population is actually 13% higher than it was just before the pandemic.
And that's good news.
Yes, it's very good news. And obviously, as we grow downtown's residential population, we are also growing the population of people who are available to patronize businesses at street level in downtown. And so it's really a win-win. And the more that downtown becomes a neighborhood, the more it becomes able to sustain all kinds of other businesses that serve those folks who are living here. So we've been very intentional about this. I spend a lot of my time working with residential developers and landlords. I spend a lot of my time working with folks who are considering making an investment in downtown Wilkes-Barre. And the great news is that it is paying off. We have close to 100 new units currently under development right now as we speak, within the boundaries of our district.
And that's really good news, because sometimes you don't hear about that a lot in downtown areas, that it's growing and it becomes a nice place to live, and a place, like you said, somewhere you can walk to eat at night, and keeping it alive. Do you collaborate with other communities in the area to see what they're doing around the state, or?
We do. So one of the programs that we are involved with is called the Main Street program, the Main Street approach to downtown revitalization. And the Main Street approach really dates back to the 1980s, as communities around the country were struggling with how to reposition their main streets as the five and dimes and the department stores and the small independent retailers that used to line everyone's main street disappeared. And so the Main Street program was actually created by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania a number of years ago. And you can, as a community, be designated as a Main Street program. And we are now in our second round of designation as a Main Street program. And so we share that designation with communities all across the Commonwealth. And we work with them all the time through an organization called the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. And I'm actually a past chairman of the Pennsylvania Downtown Center, and I'm on their board. And so we collaborate and share ideas with hundreds of other communities around Pennsylvania. And on a regular basis, I am talking to my counterparts in Hazleton and in Pittston and in Scranton and in Carbondale and in communities across northeastern Pennsylvania.
So everybody is, you're getting a chance to see what they're doing. They see a chance what your success stories are. When you're looking at these programs and you're looking at keeping the downtown alive, how are you funded? How do you keep growing? How do you keep the funding?
So that's a great question, Jane Ann. We are funded primarily through a legal framework called a business improvement district. So a business improvement district is essentially a self-assessment district. The property owners in a neighborhood get together. They say that they want to provide a certain suite of services that none of them feel that they could provide as effectively on their own. And they put a plan together. That plan gets voted on by the property owners. It gets ratified by, in this case, Wilkes-Barre City Council, and then that plan gets put into place over a defined period of time. So there are about 30 business improvement districts across Pennsylvania. Half of them are in the city of Philadelphia, and the other half are scattered across Pennsylvania. The closest other business improvement district to downtown Wilkes-Barre is in downtown State College.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then there's another one down in Harrisburg, in Lancaster, in York. Many downtowns in Pennsylvania of our size do have business improvement districts, but it is enabled by state law, it's authorized by the local government, and it's ultimately approved and governed by the affected property owners. So we basically send those property owners a bill every year based on their county real estate tax valuation that they pay, and that is what funds the majority of our services.
And they all benefit from it.
And they all benefit from it.
And we are anchored by 2 colleges, which is unique. How do you work with the colleges?
So we are very proud of the fact that downtown Wilkes-Barre is home to the campuses of King's College and Wilkes University. It brings more than 6,000 students to our downtown every year during the academic year. We also have Luzerne County Community College's Wilkes-Barre Center, which has almost 500 people enrolled at that center. So they helped create us. Wilkes and King's helped to create Diamond City Partnership back in 2001. They are, while they don't contribute directly to the Business Improvement District, they are among our largest contributors financially. And we work with them hand in hand because obviously the better downtown Wilkes-Barre is, the better the chances are that students and prospective students looking to go to any of these colleges and universities will choose to go to school here.
And that's a benefit for our area. Let me ask you this. So we have the a wish list. Is there something, a program, a resource that you would like to see come to the downtown Wilkes-Barre area?
I think in terms of a business that I would like to see that's on my wish list, I think particularly given the growth in downtown's residential population, and I know that that Mayor Brown feels the same way. We've talked about it many times. We're both very interested in bringing a grocery to downtown. I think that would be an appropriately sized grocery that could serve downtown's residential population as well as all the people who are here for other reasons, work or otherwise, who just need to run out after work and grab a couple items before they go home. We think that would be a terrific addition.
That's a good idea
Yes,
too, right? As we
absolutely.
are located in downtown with WBRE, WYOU, and we benefit from everything that is in downtown as well. So that is a good idea, and you do work hand in hand with the city, of course,
Absolutely.
and in a lot of these events.
We couldn't do what we do without the partnerships. Partnership is in our name, obviously, but we are a partnership. We collaborate on a daily basis with Wilkes-Barre City government. We collaborate on a daily basis with so many for-profit and nonprofit stakeholders in our downtown, whether it's the colleges, Kings and Wilkes and Luzerne County Community College, whether it's our business owners. They're all represented on our board. And we have a volunteer corps of people who help us put together our events, who work on the programming that we run to improve the physical environment of downtown, whether it's our facade grant program, our storefront grant program, or so many of the other initiatives that we have to make downtown a better place for everyone.
And we were showing your information because if anyone is out there that is interested in learning more, or if there's a community out there that is watching that wants to learn to say, I want to do what Wilkes-Barre is doing with the downtown partnership, Diamond City Partnership is doing, they can give you a call.
They can absolutely give me a call.
So we have the information on today's program on 2822news.com, and you can learn more about the Diamond City Partnership. Sign up for that newsletter. It's terrific. Check them out on the website and on their Facebook page, very active Facebook page. And you're getting ready, like we said, we move through the seasons, and we can keep up to date on what the Diamond City Partnership is doing. Larry, thank you for joining me today. I think we learned a lot about downtown Wilkes-Barre and about what the Diamond City Partnership brings to the city.
Well, thank you, Jane, and I really appreciate you having me on, and I always enjoy these conversations, and I just would close by inviting everyone to come downtown and check it out for yourself. You'll always find something new that you didn't realize you'd been missing.
Larry Newman's been my guest today. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. I want to thank Tony Gargiola and Matt Gronsky for helping me with the show, and Joey Nardone, who's behind the board. You're watching Newsmakers. We thank you for making Newsmakers part of your day, and we'll talk again soon.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.